Presentation 19 by Ahmed. My assigned book was Predictably Irrational by Dan O'Reilly. The chapter I will be focusing on today will be Chapter 2, The Fallacy of Supply and Demand, Why the Price of Pearls and Everything Else is Up in the Air. Summary: Predictably Irrational, The Hidden Forces That Shape Our Decisions was written by Dan O'Reilly in 2008. Chapter 2 discussed how prices were created and accepted in societies. O'Reilly conducted various experiments on his students in a university to display how prices were implemented. The first offer of a price sets the tone and acceptance from the consumer. How do we imprint an anchor? O'Reilly talks about the concept of imprinting, where an initial decision based on what is available in their environment, the consumer will stick with the decision once it has been made. The price initially introduced becomes the anchor and will have a long-term effect on our willingness to pay for the product from then on. Once we buy a new product at a particular price, we become anchored to that price. Arbitrary coherence. The basic idea of arbitrary coherence is, although initial prices are arbitrary, which are prices made by random choice rather than a system, once those prices are established in our minds, they will shape not only present prices, but also future ones, thus making them coherent, or logical reasoning prices. Manufacturers' suggested retail price, or MSRP, is an arbitrary number that companies will show the consumer to convince them of the deal they are getting.
Is it possible that your birthday influences how much you pay for stuff? What about your customers? What secret hidden factors determine what they pay for your stuff? I'm Tim David, and today's Brain Poke is going to be the best damn video you've ever seen on arbitrary coherence. If I told you my birthday was on the 6th, then I asked you how much would you pay for this oversized rubber foot, that number wouldn't be as high as if I started with a slightly higher number, such as my IQ, or this guy's shoe size. That's the arbitrary part. See, there's no connection between the first random number, in this case, my birthday, and the final number representing what you would pay for a giant rubber foot. No connection! Or is there? Studies show that when your brain hears that first number, it drops anchor and will not let you stray too far from it. You see, that's the coherence part. But you'd never fall for a trick like that, would you? 4 letters. MSRP. Manufacturer's Suggested Retail Price. Or as I like to call it, a mental swindle to ream people. MSRP is an arbitrary number. They make it up. Yet we judge how good of a deal we got based on how much lower we can get than MSRP. Many of you are thinking, those sneaky bastards. How can I apply that in my business? Well, you can start by using apples to oranges comparisons. For example, when somebody asks me what my speaking fee is, I say, you know what, you're a wise person. Rather than, investing $30,000 by sending each one of your employees to a seminar, you'd rather have me come on site and teach each one of your management staff how to better connect with your employees in a measurable way and do it at a fraction of the price. And when I do quote my fee, it's a bargain. And on top of that, when I throw in 100 free books, suddenly I'm a steal. So the lesson is, don't compare yourself to other people in your industry. Compare yourself to the value that they receive, drop an anchor, and see what happens to your sales results. If you found today's video helpful or interesting, please like it, please comment below, and please share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe over at brainpokes.com so that you don't miss out on any of our weekly goodies.
In this video, Tim David will explain arbitrary coherence in a unique way, as well as teach us how to overcome price resistance. Application to HR. Comparing yourself to other people in the industry is arbitrary. People are different and offer different aspects in a career. In an industry, the values are the anchors that others will perceive you and show your true worth. First impressions are important in a career, so choose wisely with how you act and what you say. In the chapter, Riley mentioned first decisions resonate over a long sequence of decisions, as well as the meaning of behavior herding, which is when we assume that something is good or bad based on people's previous behavior. The fallacy of supply and demand. Traditional economics assumes the prices of products in the market are determined by a balance between two forces: production at each price, the supply, and the desires of those with purchasing power at each price, the demand. It is assumed that the prices at which these two forces meet determines the price in the marketplace. O'Reilly's experiments demonstrated the consumers who are willing to pay can be easily manipulated. Consumers don't, in fact, have a good handle on their own preferences, and the prices they are willing to pay are for the different goods and experiences. It seems that instead of consumers' willingness to pay influencing the market prices, the casualty is somewhat reversed, and it is the market prices themselves that influence consumers' willingness to pay. And this shows that demand is not directly separated from supply. Reflections on the existence of well-defined preferences. We only think that we know what we want. When we are approached with complex decisions, it's a good idea to weigh the costs and benefits in a sensible way. Taking the systematic and calculated approach to solve problems will not yield the correct answer, but help rationalize the choice for you. A quote from the chapter: "Sometimes we want our decisions to have a rational covering, when, in fact, they stem from a gut feeling that we crave deep down." Application to healthcare. The decisions in healthcare can be tough, so subconsciously one will know what they want. And to do this is to follow your gut. In the healthcare field, anchoring comes from manufacturers' suggested retail prices, advertised prices, and promotions, which all equal supply side variables. Since healthcare is moving towards the quality of care reimbursement, it is important that we make decisions in the marketplace that computes the value, but it cannot be clear if we're following arbitrary anchors.